What's up, Raider Nation? The Bat Fry, Kenny Fry here, and welcome to the Silver and Black Lair Las Vegas Raiders edition. Today's show is brought to you by our good friend, Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. His office in New Jersey is located in Cherry Hill on 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And he has 2 offices located in Pennsylvania, one on the east side and one on the west side. No feud in here. The one on the east side is located in Philly at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. And the one on the west side is located in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. All right, and one more before we get rolling here. You want to help me out? Check out W Energy Drink at www.w.gg. Use the promo code The Batcave. It's all one word, The Batcave, for 10% off your order. A great energy drink, jitterless energy drink. That's hard to say. Made from coffee fruit extract, amongst other things. They also have hydration powders as well, in tub form or in sampler packs. They have shakers, swag, all that good stuff. So check out W Energy Drink at www.w.gg. And remember, use my promo code, The Batcave. That's all one word, The Batcave, for 10% off your order. All right, let's kick this shindig off. A little bit of Raiders talk here on this fine Friday morning. Some big news the other day we got. I'm going to adjust my camera here a little bit, kind of center myself up. I was centered up. I don't know if I bumped the whole table or what the hell happened. But anyway, kick this show off. We'll talk a little bit of Max Crosby a couple days ago. Big news. The Mets extend Max Crosby. You have to, this was expected. He was going to get extended. From everything you heard from Pete Carroll and John Spytek, that was like the first order of business. Their first order of business was to get Max extended out and make him happy, and go on from there. He's one of the premier pass rushers in the league. I'm not going to go here and blow smoke and up anybody's skirt here and say that he's the top rushing defensive end in the league, because he's not. Yeah, he's not. But I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be blowing smoke if he said top 5, definitely top 10. But you said top 5, you're like, okay, well maybe, all right, yeah, you can see that. So. So he's. I think he's worth it. So a lot of people I seen on social media, on Raiders Twitter there, or some people I talk to various different places that are Raider fans or just football fans in general, kind of had the whole same kind of reaction, like, wow, that's a lot of money. Is he worth it? And it is a lot of money, and I really do think he's worth it in a division where you have some, premier quarterbacks, Mahomes, Jesus Christ, I blanked on his freaking name. Yeah, Bo Nix there in Denver, and Sunshine there in with the Chargers. I can't, Herbert, that's it. Jesus, I couldn't think of his name. You have Herbert out there in Los Angeles with the Chargers. There's some premier quarterbacks there. Bo Nix, again, that was only one season for him. It was a rookie season. So who knows if he's really a premier quarterback or not. But had a pretty good rookie season. So he's on the right track. And in order to throw those guys off their game, what do you need to build? That defensive line. Good, strong secondary and a defensive line that's going to get to the quarterback. And what better way than to sign one of the premier, extend out one of the premier pass rushers. So it's very important. I do think he's worth the money. As of right now, the highest paid non-quarterback under contract. That was the other big deal. Highest paid non-quarterback. I don't know about that. For now, as soon as people start, as soon as the the league year kicks off and people start signing these free agents, he will not be the highest paid non-quarterback, for very long. So it's, cool your jets with that whole thing, and kind of giving that the side eye. It's just words basically to make it seem bigger than what it actually is. We all know, as soon as the league year opens, somebody's going to get a bigger contract than that. So, uh, probably it could be another defensive end. It could be, I don't know if there's any quarterbacks really out there that's worth. Well, yeah, no. Well, that's highest paid non-quarterback. So yeah, so maybe a defensive end. I have Miles Garrett. That's a big name out there. That's a top three rusher. So uh, he won't be the highest paid non-quarterback for very long, Max. So enjoy it while you can, Max. Get yourself another tattoo or something. Um, but yeah, it won't last. The highest paid non-quarterback. So his 3 years, $106.5 million. 91.5 of that is guaranteed. He's extended now out through the contract runs through the 2029 season. Uh, he was a fourth round pick, 2019. Looking at a little bit of history here for Mac. Fourth round pick in 2019. Right now, he sits at third in the franchise in sacks all time with 59 and a half. He's behind Howie with 84. Howie Long, my favorite all time Raider, as you can see there on the screen. There's our boy Howie. And Greg Townsend. Greg Townsend's the all time Raiders leading sack getter at 107.5. So, with any luck, maybe Max pushes Greg Townsend's numbers a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. He had 2 years left on his current contract. His base salary was $22.2 million in 2025 and 18.8 in 26. And he had no guaranteed money back, no guaranteed money left. So that was the big issue why he wanted to get extended out, because he wanted the guaranteed money. He wanted guaranteed money. You can't blame him. I don't blame him. And you'll get paid as when you can. And so that was the big sticking point. He wanted to get the extension to get the guaranteed money, and so on and so on. So now he has that. He's extended out of 5 seasons. Basically on his contract now with those 2 years, this year, next year, and then another 3 new years through 2029. Last year he only played in 12 games, fewest in his career, and injuries were a big part of it. Obviously, injuries were a big part of it. That's why he didn't play. But injuries haven't been a big part of his career so far until last season. So durability has been awesome for Max Crosby, for a guy that's out there, 98% of the snaps, defensive snaps. It's amazing, absolutely amazing that he's as healthy as he is. And I do believe if the Raiders were contending last year, if they were on the track to compete for a playoff spot, I don't think he misses those games. Or he gets that surgery earlier in the season, so he's back later in the year for more games down the stretch run. But I don't think he misses any games. I think he just grits his teeth and pushes through the high ankle sprain to help the Raiders, because he's out there. Obviously, he was hurt. They would have had to cut back his usage, I think, if he would have continued playing. But no doubt in my mind that if the Raiders were in a playoff hunt, he would have continued playing. So I got a couple comments here. Yes. Eileen. Hello, Eileen. La, la, la. Once again, for all you Seinfeld fans out there, if you know, you know. Hello. That's the one episode. I don't remember the name of the episode, but they're making fun of Jerry's girlfriend. Her belly, makes weird noises or something like that. And Jerry and George were mocking as to what it would sound like, and so that was the like a boisterous bellow, like "Hello, George, hello, Jerry, la la la." So I always got a kick out. I always think that's hilarious. And Eileen also says Crosby making all the monies. Yes, Crosby making it's a hell of a contract, and he deserves it 100%. I have no doubt. A lot of people questioning this contract, if it's too much for defensive end. And like I said, Eileen, I don't know if you've seen the beginning. it isn't too much with the quarterbacks that are in the AFC West. It's definitely needed, and premier pass rushers are hard to come by. You can get pass rushers, but usually they're like a fly by night kind of thing, or they're like a it's like a I don't know. It's they don't stick is what I'm saying. You usually don't get the consistency. You'll get a season or two from a pass rusher, and then they kind of come back down to earth. But then you have the consistency from somebody like Max Crosby. Uh, yeah, I think he's well worth it. He's shown that he is a premier pass rusher, top 5, top 10 pass rusher in the league, and his consistency, his durability has shown that. So, like I said, very durable up until last season, and I don't. I just think that's an anomaly. I don't think that's going to be the year in and year out issue, and you know, moving ahead. I think he'll stay healthy and he'll be fine. So a little bit more on Max Crosby. Uh, Last year, 12 games, that's what like I said, he had 7.5 sacks and 17 tackles for loss, 20 quarterback hits. 2023, a full season there, we had there all 17 games, 14 and a half sacks, 90 tackles, 144, or that's career, 23 tackles for loss, 31 quarterback hits. His career, 59 and a half sacks, 366 tackles, 105 tackles for loss, 144 quarterback hits, 95 quarterback hurries, and 77 quarterback knockdowns. And he doesn't miss many tackles. He had 3 missed tackles last year, I believe it was, and he had 3 the year before. So last year he had a slightly higher percentage of missed tackles. I think it was like 6.3%. The year before was half of that. And that's due, to fewer snaps played last season, also missing those games that he did. So a hell of a career going for Max Crosby. Drafted in 2019. So the next 5 years, could he get another 59 sacks? Absolutely. Absolutely he could. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see who they pair up with him on the opposite side. Do they go out and they re-sign Malcolm Kuntz? Do they, finally put Tyree Wilson out there and say, hey, sink or swim, brother? So we'll see what happens. Or do they go out there and they draft another edge rusher? I mean, Tyree Wilson, he's been a bust thus far for where he was drafted. I think it was the seventh pick or something like that. The Raiders had that year, and they drafted him there. For where he's been drafted, he's been a bust. But I think overall, he hasn't played terrible. First season, his rookie year, coming in injured and stuff, and behind the 8 ball, just missed camp and due to the injury. So he was just behind basically the whole time, the whole season. He could never catch up. Then he came into what was that, the 2022, I think it was, that he was drafted, and came into the 2023 season playing some or no, so it was 23, and then he came into the 24 season. They moved him around on the defensive line, which I thought was a great idea. Put him at defensive tackle, move him onto the outside defensive end, and it seemed like he was doing pretty well. There were some times at defensive tackle where he got blown up a little bit, but I still like them moving him around, Tyree Wilson, and just trying him in different areas and trying to get him going. Then the rest of the Raiders' defensive line right now, you have Max, obviously Christian Wilkins coming off an injury last season, Matthew Butler, Jonah Laulu, Zach Carter, Tyree Wilson, and James Snowden. Right now, those are the guys that are under contract. I'm sure there's a couple other ones, but they weren't near the top of the depth chart. I think they're going to go out there and they're going to try to re-sign Malcolm Kuntz. I'm not super high on it, just because you don't have the consistency. He had that one season after McDaniels was fired where he took off, shot off like a rocket. It would have been nice if we could have seen him play this year or this past season in 2024, 2025. If we could have seen him play that season at all, just to see if that was something that can carry over. But we didn't see it. Got hurt in the preseason, didn't take a snap. What are you going to do? It is what it is. So just hope for the best. If the Raiders do re-sign him, just hope that he's the same guy after McDaniels was fired. So, and durable. All right. But it was very important for the Raiders to re-sign Crosby. He wanted to be a Raider. Uh, from everything that he's saying in the media, and uh, he's the cornerstone. He's the face of the franchise. Yeah, I think it was just very important to get that done. And I feel like they sent a strong message to the rest of the AFC saying, "Hey, we're going to spend some money. We're out here looking to win and compete. So watch out. We're coming for your asses." That's how I take it. They could have easily just said to Max, "You know what? We're going to trade you away," which is something I talked about 2 months ago, a month ago, whatever it was. Should the Raiders look to trade Max Crosby away, this is probably where you could get the most for him right now, even though he's coming off an injury-plagued season. Uh, this would be the time where you might be able to get the most for him and maybe move up in the draft, or let's say dangle that out in front of to the Browns or whatever. They might grab that, and the Raiders are able to move up and get their quarterback or whatever. Abdul Carter or the other cat from Colorado, the cornerback slash wide receiver, whose name I cannot remember for the life of me. Because I tell you what, and I go through because we talk about it at work a little bit. And every time I say that cornerback wide receiver from Colorado, because I just his name I cannot remember that man's name, and I hear it every time like, oh yeah, that's who it is. I don't know. I feel like his last name is Fields, but I don't know. I could be thinking of Justin Fields, quarterback. I don't know. I don't know. Just making shit up in my head. John Spytek, Raiders' new GM from Tampa Bay, he had this to say uh, about the Crosby signing. He said he told Max the night I think it was the night that he signed. This is not for what you've done, but for what you're about to do. So strong words from John Spytek there, saying basically tell Max you've had a great 5 years with the Raiders so far. 59 and a half sacks. But that this isn't for that. This is for what kind of havoc you're gonna uh, spray all over the rest of the NFL. I don't know. I lack words sometimes. I'm not a thesaurus. I'm more of a brontosaurus, if anything. So, dad joke. So moving on from that, I'm terrible. I don't know. Another bit of news the same day. The Raiders signed guard Alex Kappa. I don't know much about Alex Kappa, so I was reading up on him. A lot of people hating this move. Absolutely hate destroying it. Last season with the Bengals, uh, one of the worst offensive linemen in the league. Tied for first in sacks given up. Tied for first. I think it was in quarterback hurt. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Quarterback hurries. Tied in first. A couple other things. There's just uh, not good at all last season. Very, very bad. But the previous seasons before that, he was much better. I saw a snippet of an article where it said Pro Football Focus had him last year ranked in the bottom 10 for offensive guards. But before that, the years before that, he was ranked top 25 offensive guards. So, just had a bad season last year. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But this also tells me I put out a really short live clip on YouTube, mostly just to try it out to see what that's all about. But anyway, talking about the Alex Kappa and the Max Crosby signing and extension in the Kappa signing, and I said on there that I think this tells me right now that JPJ will be the Raiders starting center. He will push Andre James to the side, and Andre James will be backing up JPJ next year. That's what I think. That this is what this tells me, and I'm not even an insider. So, uh, but yeah, moving him to guard, I think that just replaces JPJ. Of course, Cody Whitehair's a free agent; he's not going to come back. So at guard right now, you have Parham, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, who was a surprise last year, played very well at guard, and now Alex Kappa. So Alex Kappa will compete for guard, some guard play. And I'm sure I still think the Raiders are going to go out there and they're going to draft a guard. It wouldn't shock me at all. So, so real quick, Raiders sign Alex Kappa to a 2-year, $11 million deal. Uh, Not a bad deal. It's a kind of fringe starter type of deal. It's kind of like right on the edge. Like it's not big money like a normal starter would get, but it's like right there at the edge. It's not like, a 2 year, $7 million like a perennial backup might get, but it's fringe starter money. 6'6", 310 pounds. It's his eighth season. Going into his eighth season. He was drafted in the third round in 2018 by Tampa Bay. So there you see the connection there in Tampa Bay. He was there when John Spytek was there, and also he won a Super Bowl with Tom. So with the Golden Boy. So it's you see the connections there. Like I mentioned last year in the bottom 10 rankings for guards with Pro Football Focus, they had him last year ranked with a grade of 50.5. And that put him at 110th ranked overall. Allowed 8 sacks last season, tied for the worst. So not good stuff there. So hopefully it's a rebound season if he does win the starting job or what have you. And yeah, so what else do I have on him? 102 games he played so far in his career, and 96 of those were starts. So he's not you know you know a player that has only started a few games, but rotated in a lot. The dude was a legit starter, and he started 3 playoff games. When he was a part of the team that the Buccaneers went to one made one trip to the playoffs, and he started all those games. So, um, 50 games started at right guard with Cincinnati over the last 3 seasons. So it's not a bad pickup. It's not a bad pickup. I feel like it's a good depth piece. Potential starter, veteran guard. Uh, is it sexy? No, it's not sexy. It's not a sexy pick at all. Sexy signing, but I do think it serves its purpose. Its purpose is depth, and to kind of push these younger guards as well. To push Jordan Meredith. Does Jordan Meredith really have what it takes to be a every game starting guard? Dylan Parham. I feel like Dylan Parham is an excellent guard. I feel like he's a legit starter. But get pushed. They get a little bit of wisdom also from somebody like Alex Kappa, who's won a Super Bowl, who's been around the block, 96 starts. So, but also to have a little bit more comfortability from the front office. Tom Brady, John Spytek, knowing who is on the line there, and what he can do when he's playing well. So I think it's a good signing. I really do. I think in the end, I think it'll be a good signing, and Raider Nation will be happy with it. I don't think he's going to give up 8 sacks again. I hope to God he doesn't give up 8 sacks again, but I don't think he will. I think with the Chip Kelly offense, I think it's going to be designed to get the ball out fast and to limit stuff like that, especially with a line that's still kind of finding itself. All right, so moving on from that, there's been a whole lot of talk since DK Metcalf requested a trade from Seattle, and Seattle has acquiesced. They said, okay, look around and come back to us. DK Metcalf, it's been connected to the Raiders a lot because of obvious reasons. Pete Carroll, DK played in Seattle with the Sea Chickens, and obviously Pete Carroll was the Sea Chickens coach. So you have that connection, and it just makes sense. The Raiders are looking for a number 1 wide receiver to go with Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and Brock Bowers. So it absolutely makes sense for the Raiders to go out there and shoot for DK Metcalf. But what's it going to cost? I was watching the Raiders report yesterday, or no, it was I think it was 2 days ago, with Mitchell Renz. A great. I don't know if it's a podcast or what the hell you would call it, but on YouTube, I guess it's a podcast called the Raiders Report with Mitchell Renz. Yeah, I don't know if he's an insider or what, but he usually has a crap ton of information. Usually it's fairly legit stuff. Unlike me, I spew a whole bunch of nonsense out there, just kind of regurgitating stuff and just giving my opinions and thoughts, and by no means should be taken as law. But I watching the Raiders report with Mitchell Renz, he was talking about the cost, and Diana Rossini saying a first and a third possibly, which is way too much. DK Metcalf not should not be get a first round pick for DK Metcalf. You should not give that up for DK Metcalf. Absolutely not. Uh, he's a young player yet. I think he's coming into his 28-year-old season, so he is young. There's still plenty of football time in DK Metcalf, but not for a first round pick. Absolutely not. But a first and a third. So the third I could see, third round pick, but not definitely not the first. Um, Bill Barnwell saying second round pick and a third round pick, and I see that as being more realistic. I really do, and that's why I think it's going to take. I think it's going to take a second round pick and a third round pick. The Athletic also said a 2025 second round pick and a 2026 third round pick, and I think it's realistic. I hate to give up that second round pick, though. I really don't want to give up that second round pick. I'd rather give up a couple threes, a three this year or three next year. We do have two third round picks this year, but I still want to pick in the third round. Those guys are so important. But I really don't want to give up that second round pick. I don't. But if that's what it takes to get a number one, uh, so be it. I mean, we did have a number one, Devontae Adams, but it didn't work out. He had flashes of his old self when he was with Derek Carr. Then Carr leaves, and then you had Jimmy G and Aiden O'Connell, and he looked good with Aiden O'Connell. And then last year with Minshew, and just the craziness that was going on there, and then sitting out or injured or whatever you want to call. I don't know exactly what it was, but Devontae left Las Vegas with his tail tucked between his legs, and just not a good look for him. But the Raiders did have a number one. They just didn't have the right quarterback thrown to him. So it all comes back to that position offensively. You can go out there and get yourself a DK Metcalf, but if you don't have the right guy taking the snaps, then it doesn't matter anyway. And when we saw that, you can have Devontae Adams, who I still think has football to give yet. I still do think Devontae Adams is a legit number one wide receiver, but if you don't have the right guy throwing the ball to him, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can say when he went to the Jets, you had Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is also coming off an Achilles injury. Well, he wasn't himself yet. So, and coming to that team, halfway through the season last year, I just don't think it was. I don't think it was a. It, it wasn't the best look for Devontae, is what I'll say. Like you didn't get the true sense of what he can still do at wide receiver when he moved to the Jets. I just don't think so. I got a couple comments. Fantasy football girl, what's up? She says, how about Ashton Genty being drafted to the Raiders? That's something I talked about last week when I talked about running backs. I don't like running backs being drafted that early, but if the quarterbacks are gone and, there's no defensive player that just blows you away, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. I would be all right with it. I'm not overly high on Ashton Gente. One because I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him play a whole lot. I'm not a big college football guy. I don't watch a whole lot of college football, but he had a hell of a season last year. I could rummage through my notes and take a look at what the stats were that I wrote down, but I might have actually ripped them out. I don't know. But anyway, over 2,000 yards rushing. I feel like it was like 2,400. I don't remember exactly, but I had a crazy great season last year. Being the sixth overall pick, I don't know. Now, if they were to trade back, a little bit, maybe 5, 10 picks, draft them a little bit later. I think I'd feel a little bit better about it. But at number six, I think there might be guys there that would help the Raiders positionally in different areas that would be better. Yeah, Ashton Gente at running back would be the Raiders' top running back right away. He would be the best running back on their roster right away. But I just feel like if they went there at number six, let's say there was I don't know, Abdul Carter, or that the wide receiver. What the hell was his name? Crap, I don't remember what his name was. But anyway, let's say he was there, and I think those are more pressing needs right now. And I feel like they can get the running back. The running backs in the draft this year are it's pretty deep. So I think you can get a running back that's maybe not as good as Ashton Gente, but pretty close. And that's what I talked about. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I think maybe last week I talked wide receiver, and 2 weeks ago I talked running backs. But I wouldn't hate it. I think it's a little bit early for running back. But if that's the best player that's available to the Raiders in their most pressing position, like if they let's say they go out there, they have a quarterback, a free agent quarterback signed. All right, I feel like I think most people would agree that they're going to sign a free agent quarterback. Okay, so let's say they signed a free agent quarterback. Sanders is gone, Ward is gone before pick number 6. You still have Ashton Gente there. The Raiders have their number one wide receiver. Let's say they trade for DK Metcalf. Okay, they have DK Metcalf. All right, so they don't need a number one wide receiver. We still want to get another wide receiver in there. The wide receiver room isn't crazy stacked right now. So that doesn't need to be a first round pick, okay? And defensively, there's defensive tackles. It's pretty deep. This draft, I believe that's what I think I read, or no, yeah, I feel like I think that's what I read. The running back room and defensive tackle rooms are deep this year in the draft. I think that's what it was. And wide receiver is not deep. Quarterback's not deep. I'm not sure about the lineman, but anyway, then I could see it. I'd feel better about them drafting Ashton Gente at 6. So, what are the Colts going to do? What pick do the Colts have? For those that don't know, Fantasy Football Girl Advice is a Colts fan. So, Eileen says Adam goes wherever Rodgers goes. Yeah, I don't want to see Devontae. I'm still pissed at Devontae Adams, just the way he left. You could leave. I'm fine with him leaving. Shit happens. You know what I mean? He gave it a shot. He said most of the right things. But then, by the time his tenure was over in Las Vegas, there's drama. There was drama filled. It's like this is nonsense. So I don't look forward to him coming back. But I do like Aaron Rodgers. I would not mind Aaron Rodgers coming in for a season, and playing with the Raiders as a bridge quarterback for whoever the Raiders draft. And I do think the Raiders should draft a quarterback later. I don't think they should use that number 6 pick on Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward's going to be gone. I think Cam Ward is, from everything I've been hearing, through other, podcasts or other media type people, they believe that Cam Ward would go before Shedeur Sanders. And they also do believe that Shedeur Sanders will be gone before the number 6 pick. So if you'd have to trade up to get one of those two guys, and I don't think it's going to happen. And yeah, so I do think that they'll look at the quarterback a little bit later. The kid from Syracuse, I really like him, and I also like Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. Those are two guys that I have my eyes on, my peepers, and that's who I like. Cowboy Dave checking in. What's up, Dave? So you can check Dave out Saturday night with me and the guys from Part Time Marks on the Atomic Drop podcast, talking professional wrestling. We'll be talking WWE, Raw, and SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania. And Dave also is on Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. with Cowboys Weekly. As you can tell by Dave's little icon there, he's a Cowboys fan. So I hear Cowboys fans bitch and moan about, oh, it's been since 1990, whatever, since we won a Super Bowl. Ah, well, you know what? You know, you're preaching to the choir there, pal. You know, the Cowboy fans are like, oh, we need a VCR to play our Super Bowl wins with the with the VHS tape. No, this guy. It's been so long. The Raiders won a Super Bowl. We have to go to a library, go down to their basement, move boxes out of the way, and take a dusty old sheet off of the reel to reel projector to watch our Super Bowls. Our last Super Bowl win with '84. So yeah, yeah, you can suck it with all your whining, Cowboy fans. And Dahlia Hughes chicken. What's up, Dahlia? Giving the old heart emoji. Oh, there it is, heart. Or how do people? I don't know how people do it. Like they do something. Oh, I'm giving like some sort of gang sign there. I can't be doing that. I don't know how they. I don't know. I mean, I'm hurting myself. Pull a muscle in my forearm. So, what's up, Dahlia? Thanks for checking the show out. I appreciate it. Tell all your friends. Tell them all. Good, clean family fun right here. So looking back at DK, back in 2023, played 16 games, 66 catches, 1,114 yards, 8 touchdowns. And last season with the Sea Chickens, 15 games played, 66 catches again with more targets, 992 yards receiving, and 5 touchdowns. So a little bit of a drop back there. The Sea Chickens were a little bit hampered on the offensive end. Just quarterback issues and running back as well. It just wasn't a great season offensively for the Sea Chickens. They had a good defense last year. Geno Smith had a down year compared to what he's had the past couple years, but I think we're starting to witness the final decline of Geno Smith. We stuck a fork in him before, but he wasn't quite done. So now I think he might be done. This time. Maybe he gets another season in Seattle. I'm not really sure, but I don't think. I think his best days are way behind him now for Geno Smith. Career wise, DK has 438 receptions, 6,324 yards, and 48 tutties. So a hell of a year, a hell of a career so far. And like I said, he's coming into his 28-year-old year. Has a lot to give yet. Probably a good 5-6 years of solid production yet. So, and he's looking for 30 plus million a year. The Raiders have the money for it. There were talks that the Raiders, if they would trade for him, would offer him 31.5 million. So there's that. So looking at a couple of the other free agent wide receivers, guys who I think could still be number one wide receivers in the league that the Raiders could possibly target. I'm not really sure though. Amari Cooper, former Raider, former Cowboy, former Brown, but I don't know if he played for the Queefs or not. But he played in Buffalo last season. I think it was in Buffalo last season, or was he with Cleveland? I don't know. I don't remember. I feel like he played with Baltimore. He played everywhere. I don't know. But yeah, obviously played with the Raiders. Former number one, former first round pick with the Raiders. Had a couple good seasons. Would I call them early first round pick type seasons? No, but good seasons. Number one wide receiver type seasons. Yeah, I would say that. But also had a case of the dropsies, and but since he's moved on, he's had some pretty good years in Dallas. He's done some decent stuff there in Cleveland as well, Buffalo. So yeah, I still consider Amari Cooper a number one. Devontae Adams, like I just mentioned before, I still consider Devontae Adams a number one. Getting a little bit long in the tooth, as they say, as the old folks say. He's getting up there in age, and so his number one days are coming to an end. But you might get another year or two, another 2 seasons where he's still solid production, where it's number one type production. Stephon Diggs, that's another name. Still has years to give yet as a number one. And I'm talking these guys straight up as number one. They could play in the league for another 7-8 years and still pull out solid production, but maybe not as a number one receiver. You want your number one receiver, pushing over 1,000 yards, pushing, 70, 80, 90 catches and stuff like that. So Keenan Allen, I kind of was on the fence with that. If I thought he was the number one or not, more of a possession receiver than anything. But again, Chip Kelly offense, that might be a number one. So I ended up writing him down. Chris Godwin is on the fence there as well. I'm not really sure if he's has number one type production still in him or not. But I feel like no, I'm thinking Mike Williams gets injured a good bit. But Tyler Lockett, that's another name that keeps coming up with the Raiders again with his connections to Pete Carroll for their time with the Sea Chickens there in Seattle. And that one has me curious. Number one, I'm not really sure. If he signed with the Raiders, if Tyler Lockett signed with the Raiders, I feel like we have two Jacoby Myers. Then, obviously the OG, the original, the real Jacoby Myers. Please stand up. And then Tyler Lockett. I think they're the same type of wide receiver, and I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that. So Jacoby Myers has had himself a couple great seasons with the Raiders, and you get another Jacoby Myers on your team. That's awesome. That's fantastic. So those are a couple guys that I look at, free agent wide receivers that could be potential number ones yet. The rest of the names I was looking at, I'm like, I don't think they could be number ones, but what the hell do I know? Excuse me. The only other two Raiders receivers right now that are worth anything, in my opinion, you have Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. So I'm not really sure what's going on with DJ Turner, but Myers and Tucker, and that's it. So we need. I almost sound like Porky Pig there. That's all, folks. We need more. We need a number one. We need a true number one, and I think the Raiders will draft a wide receiver as well. So I think it's just like a quarterback. We're going to get a veteran quarterback. We're going to draft a quarterback as well. Wide receiver, we're going to sign a veteran wide receiver. Also going to draft a wide receiver. So, and with the wide receiver room, I don't know why I keep saying room. With the wide receiver class, there we go. Not being very deep this year, I could see the Raiders picking wide receiver very early. So whether that's second round or even with that number 6 overall pick, or do they trade back a little bit to accumulate more picks and then draft a wide receiver later in the first round? We'll see. Got a couple more comments here. Cowboy Dave saying, "Hey, big man, are the Raiders bringing back Jim Plunkett to win another Super Bowl?" Hey, if it works, it works, Dave. Last time the Raiders won a Super Bowl, that was our guy. So we'll also have Tom Flores coaching. I feel like he passed away though, so that might be difficult. Either Tom Flores passed away or he's extremely old, but I feel like he passed away. I could be wrong. I don't want to bury the man if he's still alive. I feel bad now. Tom, if you're watching, and I know you are, I apologize if you're still alive. If you're not alive, it doesn't really matter then. You don't know. Stacy, what's up, Stacy? She says, "Morning, happy Friday." Yes, it is. Absolutely. Fantastic Friday. I hope you're doing well, Stacy. And I see the Giants signed Tommy DeVito as their future at quarterback. So there's that. I always, every time I say Tommy DeVito, I want to say Danny DeVito so bad, just because it's ingrained in my head as a Batman fan, the Penguin, and it's just habit. I hear DeVito and I want to say Danny right away. So finally on today's show, real quick, I'll talk about Michael Mayer, trade rumors. A lot of trade rumors going on for Michael Mayer right now. It's not overly surprising, but it's a bummer. I'm really pulling for Michael Mayer. I want him to succeed as a Raider. I don't feel like he got the right opportunity, enough opportunity to show what he can do in the passing game, pass catching. He's done a decent job blocking, and when called upon, he's done a decent job receiving as well. But I just feel like they didn't utilize him the way he could or should be, and and that's as your prototypical tight end, not like Brock Bowers, who's more of a wide receiver tight end, but your prototypical Algie Crumpler type tight end, where you can go out there and get you 60, 70 catches a season just by, doing the short things, getting, catching the ball 3 yards off the line and, barreling up for 4, 5, 6, 7 yards, stuff like that. I just don't feel like they used them enough. And I hope he stays. I hope they don't trade him. But if you're going to trade him now, while he's, still really young, and there still might be a, uh, suitors for him. So looking at his stats, 2023, he played in 14 games, 40 targets, 27 catches, 304 yards, receiving 2 touchdowns. He had 1 drop. Last year, with the whole host of, uh, I guess, mental issues, I don't know what was really going on. I never heard the full story, and I don't really need to know. I just know he had some personal things to take care of, and I get it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Mental health before everything else. And, whether his mental issues were caused by the Raiders drafting Brock Bowers and seeing what he was doing, in camp and then early in the season, did that, exacerbate things? I don't know. I'm not really sure, but it very, very well have. And, did he have mental issues going back to his college days? I feel like there were reports that he did, but I don't know for sure. Again, I don't know. So in 2024, 11 games, 32 targets, or 52 targets, 32 targets. I'm sorry, 32 targets, 21 catches, 156 yards receiving, and 2 drops. So that's what we got there. And so if he is traded away for some assets, either players or I'd assume it'd be for picks, probably like a 6th or 7th round pick or something. I don't know. I don't know what they'd exactly get for him. But uh, that would leave just pretty much Brock Bowers as our tight end. We have no other tight end. So does that mean the Raiders draft a tight end? Do they go out there and sign another veteran tight end? Harrison Bryant, he's a free agent. He was with the Raiders last year in their tight end room. And do they go back and re-sign Harrison, bring him back, or what? But I hope Michael Mayer stays at least one more season, and I hope he gets an opportunity to show what he can actually do if he can showcase his talents in the pass catching game. So. Got another comment here, Stacy. Somebody has to throw the ball. Yes, somebody does have to throw the ball. Usually in football, you need that somebody to throw the ball. And if that's Tommy DeVito or Aiden O'Connell, who are we to judge, Stacy? Who are we to judge, right? Daniel Jones is out there, free agent quarterback. If you ever want to go down that route again, but the whole free agency period, Stacy, I think is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very interesting once this league year opens, or even it seems like the last couple seasons, whenever they open the legal tampering period, which whatever the hell that means, that's when all the deals are being made, and then they get finalized once the league year opens up or whatever, and after the physicals are done. I don't know why they just don't move the league year up and say, all right, there's no legal tampering. This is just when the league year starts, and that's it. So. Yes, absolutely. It will be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I like it. Sometimes you have a lot of movement, and just seeing different teams with those different players, like seeing somebody that you're so used to seeing in one jersey, playing for a totally different jersey, and either whether they crash or burn or they succeed. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. So as long as if it's with the Raiders with the silver and black, I hope they succeed. Anybody else, especially if it's in Denver, I hope they crash and burn. So, all right. So that's all I have for today. Be sure tonight, 7 p.m., you check out Inside the Octagon. It's tonight, 7 p.m. with Josh and Paul, the return of Inside the Octagon, talking UFC. I'm going to pull up the banner here first. There it is. A couple good-looking dudes there, muscular. They got their arms crossed because they mean business. They mean business. Absolutely. Look at them. They mean business. I wouldn't mess with those guys. So tonight, 7 p.m., Inside the Octagon, talking UFC. I think it's UFC 131. I think that's what it is. Yes. No, 313, not 131, 313, dyslexic. So yeah, they'll be talking UFC 313 tonight, 7 p.m. Check it out. Let all your friends know, and you know, MMA fans, be sure to look it up and give it a shot, and let us know what you think. All right. All right. Thank you everybody for checking the show out. You can check me out at SB underscore Lair underscore OOTBE on X, my YouTube channel, which I'm going to start messing around with a little bit more, and just trying to put different content out there that's not sports related. That's shorter stuff. Is at the Batcave underscore OOTBSE. My YouTube channel, once again, is at the Batcave underscore OOTBSE. So check that out. And if you want to help me out, check out W Energy. You won't be sorry. It's fantastic. Even if you just check it out once, just to say, all right, what is this actually about? Get yourself a sampler pack. Check it out. A jitterless energy drink, great flavors, some pretty cool swag, cool looking shakers for you hip, trendy people out there. Use my promo code The Batcave. It's all one word for 10% off your order, and you won't be sorry. Let me know if you do actually go out and buy something. I'd like to know your thoughts on there, and I'd share it here on the show as well. Good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't matter. If it's a bad review, let me know, and I'll share it. They said, all right, so and so thought that it tastes like burnt asshole, and that was it. So I wouldn't buy burnt asshole. Like if there's an energy drink called burnt asshole, I wouldn't buy that. I don't know. I think it might grab my curiosity a little bit. Like, burnt asshole. What the hell kind of energy drink is that? I wonder what that tastes like. Does it actually taste like burnt asshole, or are they just trying to be like ironic and like oh hey, this is burnt asshole, but it's actually like a mocha, chocolate mocha type energy drink flavor. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, Cowboy Days is not a lot of fun for us Cowboy fans. We don't do anything in free agency. That's because you don't have any money, brother. You don't have any money. And also, good luck or have fun tonight, you and Faith, at SmackDown tonight. And take pictures. Damn it, Dave. Take pictures. John Fry said, hey, brother John. What's up, brother? Hopefully you're on break. Saying, yo, what's up, man? He says you should buy your brother's. You should buy your brother something. I agree. You should buy your brother something. I'll tell you what, brother. You buy some energy drinks, some www.w.gg. Use my promo code The Batcave for 10% off your order, and I'll buy you something. The deal. So, real quick with brother John there, I just want to give his daughter a shout out. Good luck to his daughter this upcoming high school softball season, North Schuylkill Spartans. And so, yeah, good luck to Jordana. And as my daughter embarks in her first season high school softball, hopefully she makes varsity. If not, we'll have to work a little bit harder. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for checking the show out. I'm going to get the hell out of here. My mouth is getting drier and drier, and I'm starting to stumble over my words. I'm just talking about dog's asshole, burnt dog asshole, energy drink stuff. And one more comment before I get out of here because they keep popping up. Thanks. Good luck to Emmy. Thank you. I'll be sure to pass that along. And yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Share this out. Let everybody know about the podcast. I have fun doing this. If you have fun watching it, I greatly appreciate it if you share it out. If you don't like it, let me know what you don't like about it so I could try to change it a little bit. It could be my rambling. It could be me stuttering or saying or just my hands moving everywhere or just nonsense that I'm saying overall in general. Burnt dog asshole type stuff. You know what I mean? Faith has tryouts for school on Monday. Good luck to Faith, Dave. Good luck to her. And where she plays, is it Delco or something like that? I think the school district out there towards Philly somewhere. So yeah, good luck to her and her team this upcoming Monday. All right, I am definitely getting out of here now. I gotta go. Thank you. Give me a follow on X. Check out my subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out Out of the Box Sports, OOT Box Sports on X and also on YouTube. Use that handle, OOT Box Sports. And until next time, just win, baby.